everyone. Welcome to an awesome day of FileMaker Training. I'm Richard Carlton, creator of fmtraining.tv, where every day we are doing great FileMaker training. When I say every day, people say, well, it's not really every day. All right, technically Monday through Friday at 1 o'clock Pacific time here in the west part of the United States. Saturday and Sundays were generally off, although we have done live streams on Saturdays and Sundays before if necessary. So now the other big bit of news is that we're going to be kicking off. It's going to be 30 days of basic beginning training. So Nick is going to be on a short vacation and working on external project work. In fact, he actually is short on project work. We came to him and say, hey, Nick, you're going to have more time to work on customer project work. It was kind of funny because he goes, oh, well, my customers are kind of quiet. And I said, well, you need to get your more customers if you want. So as a result, if you are interested in having the guy who runs the live stream help work on your database project, and you have the budget, right? I always have to say that because some people think Nick is free. I can assure you he is not free. That being said, he will be available to help you with a project. So, but in 2 weeks, starting September, is it 9th, Margaret? Is that what we're doing on September 9th?
September 11th.
11th is a Monday. We're going to be doing, it's called Law and Disorder FileMaker training for beginners, right? So it's basically a 30-day training. Last time we did it went 35 days, 35 real days. And so as a result of that, it covers all the topics. We're going back to that training for beginners where we're going to recover all the steps again, because a lot of people kind of come into the FileMaker platform and they miss our training. They want to ask live questions. So if you're a highly experienced FileMaker developer, may not be the best use of your time, although we're going to have fun with it. That's why we call it Law and Disorder. It's going to be, all our examples will be highly questionable and definitely inflammatory, and probably end this up on CNN as a case of crazed FileMaker developers raising hell. Nick, how are you? We good?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Are you good? All right. Nick is.
Yeah.
So where are you today, Nick? What are we doing today? And then remember, as you can see on the screen right there, there's going to be scheduling with Claris tomorrow, and then Nick is back, and then Claris is back, and then Nick is back. It's a real crack the whipsaw kind of thing, right? So yeah.
No, I want to jump a little bit on the, when you said Nick is not free, but can you imagine that? Find anybody in your surrounding that didn't raise its price since 2016.
I don't know. Is that you? Is that you, Nick? Did you raise your prices? Okay.
No, that's the same.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're only $95 an hour. That's an amazing deal.
No, I start at 150 and I'm still at 150.
All right. So if anyone's has questions about availability and they want Nick to do some work for them, and you have a project and you have money, then let Nick send an email. Well, actually, the best way just to reach out is send an email to support@rcconsulting.com. Support@rcconsulting.com. If you want more information on upcoming training schedules, visit fmtraining.tv. So with that being said, do we want to transfer command to Nick, Margaret?
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you ready, Nick?
Yeah, I'm ready. So thank you for everything, and thank you for being there today. Been a while since you didn't join the same webinar as mine.
I know. Well, I'm gonna be around a lot because the 30-day training, which will go more than 30 days, starts in 2 weeks. So we want to make sure people know about that, and they want to come to that and learn from the beginning.
Yes. So what you need to know about this is I have a good example here. Let me share my screen real quick. I want to show you
share your screen.
So is that file, the file you see here, right? So that's for the people that want to hire me or hire RCC in general. That file was this at the beginning, So the layout you see here, this layout, okay, this one, right? Originally was this.
Well, even I'll be honest with you, the old one's not that bad. That one's not that bad, but yeah.
Not that bad, but okay. So you see, but it was like super freaking slow. Many things like this. The documents was a nightmare. A real nightmare. It didn't have any document management. It was opening file local in the hard drive, right? So it didn't have any containers. But what I want to say is, okay, so we switch from this to this, right? And look at this. When you go layout mode here, it's underscore parcel. When I go layout mode here, it's underscore parcel. That means they are exactly the same fields, contact name, see contact name here, I have contact name here. So that means you can switch from this to this, right? And without rebuilding the whole thing. And here you can see, if you go to the managed database and the relationship map, you can see, so there's a lot of things. So, and the file it's giant,
there it goes.
giant. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's a pretty big file.
Okay, so you have the old world, okay, and all the new thing here, right? Right?
Yeah, so that old one is a spider diagram, a clean spider diagram, but that's still a freaking Black Widow spider there, right? That's
exactly. Yeah. So you have this world linked to this world, linked to this world, pretty much. When you go, and this is that's a good example. If you go there and you have related table, almost all your database, not almost, it's all, almost all the database where it stopped here. So you have from here to here, all of this is related. So can you imagine? So you have more than half of the solution related.
Yeah,
and
there's big performance penalties with that.
And the non-related, you can see by the naming. The non-related are all my new one with the T16, 23, 24, 25, because they're not linked, so they're not related. Okay, so but little by little we move. When you rebuild something like this, we don't need to rebuild from scratch, like file new. Okay, you can come and deal with the old world, right? And come with a new world, little by
I like
little.
It looks nice. I thought mine looked nice, but yours always looks better, Nick. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna
go ahead.
I'm gonna go and jump, but you guys keep cranking away on your project here, making sure you educate everyone. Remind everyone.
So about the how it looks clean and stuff. So I want to talk about this. One of my best friend in France. Okay, we were at school together. So, and the guy was a cook, a chef, and I always be amazed how you can have in a kitchen of a grand restaurant, and you have like 7, 8 people working in a very tiny place, right? And everything is immaculate, and you don't have a pot or utensil. You cannot see anything that is not in use, So, I mean, and the guy said, yeah, I spend 20% of my time cooking and 80% of my time, fixing and, arranging and putting things together, because keeping the place clean and simple. Okay. So, and I've learned a lot from this guy, and I apply this to all my FileMaker development. So I don't leave anything dirty. I mean, because it will save you time all the time when you are building things. If you don't have a bunch of junk all over the place, okay, it will help you. You will gain time at the end. So even if you take time to name the file correctly, fixing the thing, arranging the thing, realigning the thing, and stuff like this, if you don't have a bunch of junk always in the middle of your feet, that will help you a lot. And that is the same for relationship, or for the what's the name, the scripts, the same. well arranged with the number, and you can find them easily. So it's very important to keep that in mind, that to keep everything clean and don't get junk in the middle. So it takes me time. I have to admit, I'm spending like at least 25% of my time cleaning, naming, right, and make sure that everything is in place. At one point, when you reach that level of being super clean, okay, you rely so much on the names, right, and the way you name those things. You rely so much that sometime relying on those names, I can get in trouble if I don't do this work of cleaning, because sometimes it happened. I change the key here. I can change the key, and I don't change the name because I forget, because I have a phone call or whatever, right? And then because I rely so much on this, sometimes I can get in trouble because I was relying on the name and it wasn't consistent with the reality, right? So, but that happened very few. But to tell you how, if you use a good naming convention, right? You add yourself a feature. You add yourself a feature. I have to admit something else. And one day I want to talk to what the name Monkey Bread Marge, what's the
Christian
name?
Schmitz.
Christian Smith. Okay, Christian Smith. I need to talk to him because I have to admit I never use unless I really need that. But I wasn't fond of using plugins, but the MBS plugin, I cannot go back.
The search function's pretty great, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. So what I do love, I didn't really need it, but it's true that this search here is cool. The search here, if you want the T04 or T02 E, boom, you go there straight. Okay, so I don't have an E, but T04 or T0, I don't know, whatever, So it's kind of cool to have something like this, to have this is cool. The biggest change for me is the scripts, because of how now we can handle I can handle I'm heavily use the variable, as you can see, as you know, right? So now if you want to set field and you want to use a variable that you declare in the so you can have your variable like this. So that's very cool, So you have all the variable that you declare in the script, you have them like this. Just for me, this is super, super cool. It's super cool. The go-to line, I like it, the go-to line 40, and boom, you go to the line 40. And the search, because sometimes you want to go to fields, so that's a go-to field. So those things from MBS change I cannot go back, pretty much, So when you use something and you cannot go back, that means But I want to tell you, because I wanted to tell you that because I always was saying, I don't need, and I said, okay, let's try, and I can go back. So okay. So today we started a new week on the filter. So last week we saw the filters, the different type of filters. We saw the regular filter, that you select something and then you want the filter to apply on what you select. We saw how this Boolean, this one, all this one, this one, all this one, this. Okay, we saw that. We saw how the dates, from from one date to another date, how this works. But now we are going to see how we can use a filter in the positive or negative way, saying that I want the document type to be I want the CAD evidence, for example. Okay, I want them, so I want all the files, all the records with a CAD evidence. So I apply. So he found me 15,620. Okay, and if I click here, it's the one that doesn't have the CAD evidence. So it's the other 5,495. Okay. So how we can do this by reversing, right? I want this or I don't want this. Okay. So I'm using, and all of this is possible because I'm using the one technique, the relationship with the one technique. Why? Because this here, okay, I have this and this, okay? So let's see what we need here. Let's see what happened here, okay? So normally in this layout here, I have the fields here. No, this one. Yeah. So document type. So all of this is about document type. So we focus on this, okay? So we have a tag, okay? We have the custom document type filter and the custom reverse document type filter, okay? So we have two fields, two filters, right? But only one is showed in the filter, okay? Is this one. I have another one. I have another, the document. I have this field here. I don't know if I'm showing a document type filter. Yeah, I have it in the other side, right? Let me see. Yeah, okay. So I have this document. Where's the document type? I don't have it. Okay, let's put it here. Document type filter. Okay. So all of those are about the document type filter. Okay. So let me prepare this a little bit more. I think I'm going to use, I'm going to copy this and put it here because I need then I will have the value list that goes with it. Oh, I want it here. Yeah, okay. So I have the field with the value list. Okay. So here what happened. I have one field for the input. Okay. I have one field for the input. So I can select the exception letter. I can select the final values, can select the formal prep, can select the foundation. Okay. So I have one field where I am selecting whatever I want. By doing this, my preference, right, is when you select something like this, I'm not selecting the name here, I'm selecting the ID. That means here, this value list, that's why I want to show this. I'm using the FileMaker technique that you click here and the value list here. You show two fields, the ID and the value. So you have two, you select two fields from the same table, but you show the value only from the second field, but it's this field that goes inside the global. This value is this field here that is going to be there. So the value list shows the value, but it's the ID that I put there, really. So if I do this, and I do this, in this field here, okay, when I click here, if I select this, it's the ID that I put in the field. I'm saying the name, but it's the ID that goes with it. Okay, so this is a really well-known technique from FileMaker, right? So I'm doing this is because it's more reliable to use IDs, okay, for this type of things, right? Okay, so I have IDs. Appointment of agents this is the ID I'm using, as a type of document. So what happened here? So I'm putting in this global document type filter, I'm putting the filter I want, okay? And then here I have two fields, right? I call the custom document type filter. So what happened there? I'm using the one technique, right? You remember that? Okay. So this is where I'm putting the ID of, I'm selecting the type I want, okay? This is where. And then I have this, the custom documents reverse and the custom documents, okay? Custom document type and custom reverse document type, okay? So what happened here? If I'm selecting, when I'm selecting forget about this. When I select this, the document, when I'm selecting a document type, automatically I have this document type repeated in the other field, okay? Let's cancel all this. Here is the same as this, okay? So if I go there, right? But now what happens if I click the reverse? It's a tag, okay? If I click here and I put 1 here, boom. This become 1 and the ID goes in the reverse document type. If I remove this, it goes there. If I put 1 here, it goes there. If I put 0, it goes there. If I put 1, it goes there, right? So if I put 1 here, this ID goes there, and here I have 1. That means I want to reverse, correct? But if I put 0, here I want the ID, and here I want 0. So why? It's because I want to reverse. That means if I go to the relationship, so let's build the relationship 1 minute, okay? Let's build a simple relationship, okay? Because I have my default filters here, but my demo filter, but I want to check something here. So the reverse, okay. Okay. I'm going to look for my J custom document filter. Okay. And at the same time, I think it's this, yeah. This is a relationship I want, okay? I want whatever I put there, right? And the link of all my current type IDs. You know, all the in that, you know, I have a field. I have a field. In that field, I'm putting all the IDs of the document type I have. Okay. This is how you do that, because you have one record. So let me explain this. It's a little bit, it's not complicated to put in place, but to explain, it's not easy. Try to find a way. In this file here, in this parcel, in this record, I am related to multiple documents, okay? But for that parcel, I only have this type, this type, this type, this type, this type, this type. So if I'm looking for this field, yeah, it's this one. Okay. I only have those two, but it's not something wrong here because I have many more. That's weird. Let me update the trigger here. Is the debug that I need to debug? Okay. Yeah, I should have updated that, but it's okay. Let me take another record here, more recent. 1, 2, 3. Is that the field that I'm using? I'm not sure. Oh no. So pretty much, when you have a record, right, and you want to search about what you want to find for all the related record, right? So because those are related record, the current document. Oh, it's the current document type ID. Okay, current document type IDs. I was looking for the current document type IDs. Yeah, is this okay? So what you do? I want to search record in that table, right? That contains. I want to search this data here. I want to search which one has appointment of agent, for example. You know, you don't search in the related table. You know, this is bad. You know, you don't do this. You don't do, and in my case, I cannot do that because I'm using relationship, right? So I want to be able to search for this information here, for the data I have here, but in this local table. I want to search in this table. I want to search in this one. Okay. So I have a field. Each time that you add or remove a document, you know, I am updating a list with all the IDs of that document type. Okay. So here, oh, I don't have the let's. I don't have the trigger. So I have a trigger. So I don't know why. Okay. So no, I have it. I'm taking the list, right? Of because it's not is this one. This one is a GTR. In this list here, this one I have. I am taking the list of all the document type that are related to that parcel, right? So automatically in this field that is in parcel, I'm taking the list of all the document type available in that parcel, okay? So at all time, I have the document type that I have here, right? So then now that I have the IDs of all those document types in the field, right? I can search in it. but search in that table, because now those IDs, the best would be to show that field in the layout. I hope I'm clear with this. When you want to filter or search something related, you don't search or filter in the related table. You move the data in a field locally. Okay? So I might have it here. Current is there. Okay, so here I have my document types. Okay, so I can search on this, but locally. I don't need to go to that table. Okay, that will be slow. So now that I have this, I add the one at the end, to have the one technique. Okay, so now I can say, okay, search for this ID in this field. That's pretty much what I've done. So here now, I search for example, CAD evidence. And if I'm using my scripts, my test script that I have here, right? This will give me the CAD evidence. Okay? All of those records, all of those table parcel has CAD evidence. Okay? So I can change, I can say, okay, give me the lack of updating, for example. Okay? So that will change. 410, lack of updating. They all have lack of updating. I can pick one, lack of updating. All of them has lack of updating, all of them. Okay? So now that's cool, because now I can select, and if I put one here, if I put one in this, right? If I click here, it select all. So I cancel the relationship. Okay. If I select this contract, I click here, my relationship will say, okay, find me this, right? Related, okay, and I have contract here. All of them has contract. Okay. So now this is a regular filter that I show you next week. Okay. But what happened if I do this? So now I want to do the opposite. So what do? I have two predicates, two of them, okay, in the same relationship. This is for the I want it, and this is I don't want it. Correct? But I said I don't want them, right? So I have two predicates now. This one say, yes, I want them. And this one say, no, I don't want them. Correct? Okay. It's different. Don't want them. One is equal, that means I want them. And the other one is different, so I don't want them. Okay. So, but now I have two predicates completely contradictory. Correct? So what happened now? Right? If I say, okay, put one here and put what this? Remember, this is the predicate in the relationship that say, I want them. And this is a predicate that say, I don't want them. Hear what I'm saying. I want them all. I want them all because I said one. I want them all. But I don't want them. I want them all. From this predicate, I want them all. But the second predicate is I don't want this. Okay, so press. Now, those 20,000, I don't have contracts. Now, I said, okay, so now, here's the trick. Now I want to go back to I want them. I want this. Correct? But if I put 1 here, I'm going to say I don't want them all. Okay? So instead of putting 1 by default, remember, it's I don't want them. You remember? Okay. So if I don't want them, or you put 0 here, because then you say, okay, you know what? I want them. I want this one, but I do not want nothing. You understand? I do not want nothing because it won't find any zeros. This will find nothing. So that means the do not want is completely ignored completely. If I put 1, it won't work. Oh, you see? Because I said you told me you don't want, you said you don't want all of them. You understand? You said you told me because the 1, okay, if I said 1 here and 1 here and I press the relationship, that means for the system is I want them all. Okay? But here, if this relationship here is tied to a predicate that ignore them, saying I don't want them. So it takes precedent on everything because you said, okay, you know what? You told me in that relationship that anything that is there, you don't want them. If you put 1 here, you don't want them all because all of this relationship, all this field here has 1. So you say, I don't want them all. Whatever you put here, you want there, right? He said, yeah, you want this, but you said you don't want them all. Okay. In that case, my default here for the negative one, for the one I don't want, I put 0. That is my default. I don't want nothing. That's what I say. What I'm saying here is this: I don't want nothing. You know, by doing this. So if I press here, I have all of them. And if I said I want this one, then I said if I press here, this is my 356 I want contract. Now, I wanted a system where I can reverse that on the fly. Okay, I have a tag 10 that says if I have 0, I don't want to reverse. You know, if I have 0 here, I want the normal. I want the one, I want this. If I put 1, boom. It changed. It make this 1 and this here goes there. That means I don't want. But here you said, okay, I want them all, but I don't want them. And here you said, I want this, but I don't want nothing. The don't want, find nothing. You can put whatever, if I put this, it works. Because I want something that you cannot find. Okay? So 0 is the best because there's no 0 on the other field, in this predicate, using that field here. On the other side, I have no 0. It doesn't exist. Okay? I have 1, but I don't have zeros. So if I put 0 here, it will find nothing. That means it will ignore nothing because it finds nothing. Okay? So this tag here reverse the status. Right? So I have an auto entry calculation, very easy. Right? If I change this, it changed. So, boom, see? Boom. So he take this, he put either here and 0 here, or he put this here and 1 here. And then that makes the possibility to have 2 completely contradictory predicates and to dynamically, on the fly, action, make this working and not this one, or this working and not this one. Another way to explain, okay? This one, if I say ignore all of them, they will ignore all of them. And whatever you said here, it won't find it. Okay? Okay? But if I want to ignore something, this needs to be working. So I need to say, yeah, find them all, right? And ignore me this. Correct? And the other side, and the other way is, don't ignore anything and show me this. Okay? So that's why now, right, with this here, I can either find something, ignore something that ignore, or I want them. I can do that with more. So that's the beauty of the relationship, because I know the question is going to come. Let's say I want this, okay? And I want this. I have 2 IDs now. 2 here. So I could have this, I could change this like this. Let's make it. And then after that, we go to the question. So can you imagine you want to do a script with a perform find and a ignore and the omit and the constraint and can you imagine all what I have together here, all combined together, all those filtered together, some coming from a value list, some coming from a date range, and you want to make them working when they're not empty, to ignore them when they're empty. Do that with a script. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it with a 300-line script. You can do it, and two boxes of 5,000 Excedrin pills and 5 weeks, you can come with something. Okay. So let's change this into this. I have a lot, but it's okay. Okay? Well, and that's the beauty. because that on perform find, goodbye, bye bye Broadway, terminal, finish. Okay. I want, because this here is 0, so that means I want. Okay. I want contracts, formal prep, exemption letter, and arbitration. So I'm not sure I will have something that. Okay. I want something. I want a parcel that has contracts, right, and CAD evidence. I'm not going too far because I'm not sure I'm going to find a record with this. Contract and CAD evidence, the two together. Okay. Boom. You found all. Yeah, because why found all? You should have. Oh, because I have one here. Okay. So I want this and this. Okay. Boom. 15,000 record with contract and CAD evidence both together. Okay. So I can make it, for example, let's add formal prep. So now I have 3. 1, 2, 3. I have 3. Okay. Boom. I have more. So yeah, pretty much all of them. Oh, because I have this one coming here because it's not, okay. So boom. 15,073 with this, and this. Okay. So, but now, I can do the opposite. I can say, okay, take this, put 1 here, and put this here. Now it will do the opposite. It will ignore those 3. With 3 different selection. Okay. So that's to show you the power of this stuff, because you can reverse the relationship as you want. And here in my example, and here you have 2 things like this. You have 2 difference. You have 2 combined filters that I can reverse when I can say, I don't want exemption, but I want submitted. Or I don't want submitted and I want exemption. Or I don't want exemption and I don't want submitted. You can do that together. It works. Okay. So you can say this. You can say this if you want. It works. It will select exactly what you ask. And as we can see, the waiting time out of 21,000 records is like nothing. Always, I can say I want Harris, I want this, whatever. You can add more. It won't slow down. Why? Is because all of this happened in one unique table, itself. So that's why it's fast. Is because all of those things that I'm using here is coming from the same table, from the parcel table here. I'm pointing to the same table. This is going to the parcel and this is going to the parcel, So and whatever I have, all the relationship I have, all the predicate I have doesn't matter, because it's just from the same table. So it's fast because it's local. It's there, and it's one ID with one ID, or one name with another name, and to ignore one, if I want to ignore one, if I said, okay, don't, it doesn't care because it's 1, So it's with the one technique, those are not slowing anything. They're not slowing down, because pretty much is okay. I found one. I found all of them. They're all okay. So, do we have questions?
We had one from. We got 2, I think. Why don't you use the relookup in this case, just to know? I mean, why are you
Daimak. Yeah. Okay. Why use the trigger instead of relookup? Okay, that's the question.
Mm-hmm.
So why I'm saying this, and I say, okay, if I want to relookup, so let's blank this. Okay, let's blank this, and I'm doing this. Is the link field? Yeah. It's coming back, because I commit. Okay. So why? It's because it's obvious. I want to update. I have 21,000 records, correct? And I want to update this record. Only this one. I don't want to update the 21,000. If you do the relookup, it will relookup all the 21,000 records. So you need to open a new window, isolate the record, and say the relookup on one record. It's not a good thing. I don't want. I want this unique field and this unique record out of the 21,000. I cannot say relookup current record. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. If I'm here, right? And I don't know if I have a lookup here, but if I say relookup, it say, it will say relookup on all the 20,000, I don't know if I have one here. It will say, do you want to relookup on 21,000 record? Right? So we don't want that. Do I have IDs here? Yeah. No. Yeah, here.
Yeah.
If I say relookup, okay, no, this one, no, but the site. Why? I have none. Yeah, I have no, I don't use relookup a lot. But normally it should say, it will say you relookup on the found set. With the trigger, you are triggering only the current record. Okay? The question of the speed. Yeah, you don't want to relookup 21,000 record because it will take like half an hour, especially if you have a table like this with so many fields. Okay, so the trigger is a better technique for that because you can point exactly. And oh no, I have the answer, the other answer. Tell me this. I have here, what do I want to do? Okay. I want in this step, in this field, in this field here, I want this. So let's copy this and go to the data viewer. I want this. So unique because I want to make sure that I don't have redundancy. Okay. I want this. I didn't say I want this. I want this. This. How you do that with a relookup? Tell me. A relookup will get you this. The first in the row. I don't want just the first. I want all of them. All the related record of that relationship. All the data, not only one. The relookup, you cannot do this. The relookup, unfortunately, it could have been great, but if you use the relookup in that here, relookup, you get the first record, not all of them. You understand? Here, I want all of them. I want the list. So 2 reasons why the relookup doesn't work. Yeah, the 0 equal omits. The question is gone. Yeah, he deleted. So for the parcel relationship, do you want to tell the question?
Yes. For the parcel relationship, any of the 2 predicates global has a 0 will not list anything?
Where you see that?
David Angel.
For the parcel relationship, any of the 2 predicate global has a 0. Will not list anything. Yeah, because look, try to find a way to explain this. So we talk about the link documents type, we talk about this. And when we talk about this, you know, the reverse document and the documents. All of them has one. If they're empty, I have one. But if I'm not empty, I have the list of my ID and one. But in all of them, I have one. All of them. I have one. All of them has one. At least one. Okay? If they're empty, I have one. But, all of them. Okay. This is a custom reversed. That's what I'm saying. I don't want you to ignore nothing. So you can put whatever, it will work. It will work because anything here you put the name, your pet name, if you want, if you want, I don't care. Anything here that will not be found here, something that doesn't exist there, because I don't want to ignore anything. I want to ignore to find nothing. Then if we find nothing to ignore, it will get them all. You understand? Look, if I change my relationship, because you have two types of relationship. You have the positive and the negative, right? Find or ignore, difference or equal, okay? So let's say I'm changing that one. Okay, I keep this one, so, the ignore. Only the ignore. Okay. I want to ignore your pet name. I want to ignore all the records there that has your pet name. Ignore them. I click here. Look what happened. Nothing to ignore. There's nothing with your pet name. If I put 0, I click here. Nothing to ignore. Ignore nothing because there's nothing there with 0. If I, now if I say, ignore this one. Ignore many of them. Why? Because there's something to ignore. But now here, if I put this and I want to ignore this, you won't ignore anything. So if you have two predicates, one ignore and the other one equal. Well, it doesn't ignore. Okay, the one pick and the other one ignore. Like I had here. I have one to ignore and one that pick. Right? Okay. If I make sure that the predicates that ignore will ignore nothing, okay? This will ignore nothing. This will ignore nothing. Okay? If I have these predicates, okay, that ignores nothing, and at the same time, I have the other predicate that shows everything, okay? If this ignores nothing and this shows everything, then I have all the records. Now, if I say, okay, show me this, but ignore nothing. Just show me this, but ignore nothing. Then here, it will show me the 11,000 record with the B9, 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 and this one has B9, B9 here, right? Now, if I do the opposite, I say, okay, you know what? No. Show me all, but ignore this, right? Boom. You understand? So then this is how you reverse. So if you put 0 here, and this here, it will ignore nothing and show me this. This will do this. I have 410. Okay? If I do the opposite, I say, okay, show me all and ignore this. The opposite. Again, ignore nothing and show me this. It's the ignore nothing that is complicated, right? You need to ignore nothing and show me this, or show me all, ignore this, right? I think this way it's easier to understand how this works.
Cool. Yeah, David says, got it. It is not an equal relationship.
Yeah, but it's very cool, because you have one unique relationship. You don't have like imagine if you do something like this, imagine this, because I know how you will have handled this. If you have a script that says if this is click, then use that relationship. If it's not click, then use that. Yeah, but how you want to handle this? That could be clicked, and that could be like this, or this could be like this. Both of them can be click, or this one not click. How you want to handle that? If this is not click and this is click, then, and if you have 5 of them, 10 of them like this, you want a script that says if, and you have another relationship. Yeah, but they're all together. How you can do that? They're all together. I need one relationship that handle this. So this is a way you reverse. That's why I call that reverse. Reverse a relationship to either ignore or get. And the beauty is you can put many IDs in the same field, right? So it's not tied to one ID. It could be 2, 5, 10. And it's one relationship that handle everything. And here I have 2. I have the document type and the status, with the reverse. So you can add as many as you want, right? That's it. Okay, so tomorrow we talk about, I don't know if you have a question on Twitch, whatever, YouTube.
Not at the moment. People are just asking if there's going to be a sample file for this.
Yeah, it will be a simple. I need to extract this.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're going to talk about UI, because the UI is fundamental, right? You understand why? Because activate, not activate, activate, not activate, activate, not activate. See what I mean? So you have a filter, you have a UI that helps you understand. So here you know immediately where you are. Okay, you know immediately where you are. Correct? So what is active, right? So it's very important to have a great UI. This one or this one. Either or, this one or this one. This one or this one. No? So you see immediately, tuck, 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 you see what's happened. If you don't have a great UI, right, and you need to blank this, goes away, goes away. This is blanking. It's the same as blanking, right? And when you have a button, you can have an action coming up. You can do something. So tomorrow we do the UI, and after tomorrow we see how we do because the great UI is this. Let's say, that's for tomorrow. Let's say I want Montgomery. Boom. Okay, so I apply. I said, okay, that's my last validated filter. But if I say, oh, I want this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and you say, no, I have a phone call. I don't, and you dismiss this, right? But when you come back, you want to come back like it was because you dismissed all your change, right? So that tomorrow, after tomorrow.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, we'll be doing that Wednesday, everyone. Thank you, Nick. Seriously, much appreciated.
Thank you. And see you tomorrow.
See you Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir!